What's good? We've got a lot of good stuff going on this morning. A lot of good stuff. So Grayscale launched its first US spot Chainlink ETF, GLNK, on New York Stock Exchange ARCA. I'm expecting that to actually do well. We're gonna have to keep checking back in every so often, but I'm definitely expecting some upward momentum on that one. Then Ethereum activated the Fusaka upgrade on the heels of its Pectra upgrade. And this is supposed to bring scalability and reduce node storage limits, right? Or demands, right? Because if you're hosting a node, you have to have this much memory or this much that, and the other. And you're not going to have to do that. It's going to be a little bit less. And that helps to increase decentralization. That's right. It also helps to guard against, attacks. So that's actually a very big deal. The UK passed the property digital assets, etc. bill, which is funny, granting digital assets legal property status, enabling clearer ownership and insolvency processes. That's very interesting when you stop and think about it. They're saying your crypto is a personal asset and should be treated as such. So during insolvency processes, with 12% of UK audits now owning, adults rather, owning crypto, you had to make some kind of a statement. And I'm sitting back and I'm all here for it. The only issue that I have is, when I look at, let's say, crypto in general, right? To me, it was meant to get away from banks. Like when you look at stablecoins, stablecoin should have been a bank destroyer. And what do you see happening right now? Yeah. And it's becoming, like I said before, it's becoming one of those things where it's just a renamed CBDC. CBDCs wouldn't work in certain countries, and they said, fine, we'll get rid of it, but we'll put all these stringent parameters on stablecoins, and that will work. Here's the difference. Stablecoins like USDT, that's the last bastion. Now, you know why I deal with USDT a heck of a lot more than I deal with USDC by Circle, right? It's just something I pay attention to that I'm just like, yeah, I'd rather do that. I'd rather do that. Just less control, right? I don't mind paying taxes or anything like that. I just don't like the idea that they can control my assets. That's a no bueno situation. What else do we have? Anthropic plans a 2026 IPO. Now, we've known that for a while with $300 billion valuation target, with a $300 billion valuation target. It's backed by $15 billion in funding from Microsoft and NVIDIA. Ta-da. So when we thought that Microsoft wasn't hedging its bets, Microsoft is indeed hedging its bets. Because remember, they backed OpenAI and all that good stuff, and they're also looking at Anthropic. That's not a small thing. I'm telling you, I firmly believe that a company like OpenAI is going to wind up getting bought. I just don't think it's run well. They're in panic mode right now. Red alert. They're in panic mode. Why are you in panic mode? Because Google is doing a lot in that space. You thought you came and you stepped on Google and you were going to take over Google and all that good stuff. And for a while, it looked like that was going to be the case. But what happened? Not only did Google come out with software, Google's been, first of all, let's get it straight. Google's been in the AI space for a long time. Don't think that Google wasn't. After doing some research, you realize, holy moly, they really were. Then you look at, well, that's just on the software side. What about the hardware side? Well, they've come out with their TPUs and they've already got Meta nibbling at their heels to buy some. What's a TPU? Tensor Processing Unit. It's a unit specifically for AI. Not half can be used for AI like NVIDIA's chips. The whole thing is made for AI. Just saying. So OpenAI has some issues because Google can afford to lose money in that space because they'll make money in other spaces. Just pay attention. Just do your own research, know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. Because what happens? You start to realize these tiny little points that all of a sudden come together and paint you the most vivid of pictures. Anthropic, I think Anthropic is going to survive. I think they're going to be a research firm in the future. They'll still do AI, obviously, but I think they're going to be a huge research firm. I think they'll have alternative methods to making money, whereas OpenAI is scrambling. OpenAI has plans on implementing ads on ChatGPT. So you're paying for a service and you have to see ads? Whoa. There comes a point where, come on, enough is enough. I don't want to see your freaking ads. And you knew it was coming because, they have to earn money. So you knew at some point it was going to come. And they've got the most eyeballs. Out of a lot of businesses out there, they have some huge eyeballs on it. And that's what you pay attention to. Something else that's going on, crypto stock recovery is led by what? Treasuries, digital asset treasuries. That's what they've been led by. So all the talk of treasuries, my only question about treasuries is, what was your business before you became a treasury? Are you still in that business, or are you fully focused on being a treasury? And if you're publicly traded, well, then my next question is going to be, do your shareholders agree with that move? Just saying. Those are all the questions that I think about. But apparently this comeback is being led by digital asset treasuries. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Something else that's going on. Binance co-founder Yi He. I hope that's how you pronounce her name. I greatly apologize if it is not. I hate mispronouncing people's names. She's now been appointed as co-CEO along with Richard Tang. Now I'm wondering if it's going to be truly an equal thing, or she's stepping in to kind of take over. Remember, she was a part of the old regime. She was a co-founder with CZ, Changpeng Zhao. So that's going to be interesting to watch how that plays out. They want to emphasize regulatory compliance and things like that, and just innovation and user-centric innovation and things like that. But I don't know. It smells to me like there could be some change over there. So it's going to be interesting how they divvy up the duties, and I'll be watching that for a while. Because I would think that you would bring her in because you want somebody even closer to Changpeng Zhao. Just saying, he owns the most shares. He's not going anywhere, no matter what people say. He's not going anywhere. His reach is long, and his money's longer. Just saying. Russian President Putin. Now, this is actually a big deal, and we should be paying attention to this because eventually it could have impact on our bags. He went to India to meet with Modi. And I believe there are a couple of things on the table within that meeting. One is going to be, talks about economies, right? And what's the number one thing in Russia for economy? Oil. Is India going to increase their oil purchases from Russia, or are they going to decrease their oil purchases from Russia? India is in a precarious situation. They are in a precarious situation. They joined BRICS alongside Russia and China, Brazil. So it's Brazil, Russia, India, China, and the S is what? Saudi Arabia, South Africa, I think. South Africa. And you sit back and you kind of go, you are in a precarious situation because your work, your money, your inflow comes from outsourced technology from countries like the United States and other Western countries. I don't think you want to lose that business. I think eventually I think India is going to wind up losing that business at some point. And people are probably sitting there going, why? Well, right now, you look at the United States, it's a 3-to-1 employee or worker kind of thing, right? Where the economy says, for every one person I get in the United States, I could have gotten 3 in India. But remember, it costs you, right? Because of the lack of overlap. Oh, we'll work 24 hours. No, they won't. So you have lack of overlap time between your U.S. team and your India-based team. Blah 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 blah. Okay, and so right now it's a 3-to-1. What happens when it goes 2-to-1? That's when companies are going to have to start to realize, oh man. Now the problem with that process is you could literally see companies get to that point where it's 2-to-1 and they're thinking, oh, maybe we need to bring things back. And the people that they want to hire are already hired in other companies. It'll be a race to hire seasoned employees. And they're also thinking, well, we're resetting how much people make in the United States. And I went through that as well. You want to reset how much people make in the United States to kind of bring those salaries lower? So you're having all these layoffs and things like that and blaming it on things like AI. Let's take a step back and let's think about that. Let's think about that. If people can't afford to buy your products and services, you're not making so much money. So ultimately, you'd be resetting everything, wouldn't you? Just saying. So it's something for me. It's something for me that I keep an eye on, because I can see how companies are just not getting it. They need to define what enough is, because if you define what enough is, you'll be in a much better space. A much better space. You'll be able to plan better. I know my employees make this amount of money, but they love working here and all that good stuff, and we make it easy for them. They make enough to have a great life, yada yada yada. And we make enough money where we're always in the black. We're always healthy in the black. We could always put money on the side, all that good stuff. There needs to be that balance. And companies right now are not recognizing that. It's just more. Just saying. It's like a Star Wars movie. For you people out there that are geeks like me, you'll get it. What else do we have going on? BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF IBIT options reached 9th place in U.S. open interest with 7.7 million contracts, outpacing gold ETFs despite Bitcoin's negative 0.1% annual performance. I'm just saying. When people make statements like, oh, crypto's fake, I point to facts like that. And just go, yeah, okay, it's fake. But now you have every single firm in the United States that's worth over $1 trillion involved in crypto in some way, shape, or form. Stop and think about that. But you don't believe. Okay. I understand. Well, look at it. It went down. It's gone up. So I'm just saying, pay attention to these things. Pay very close attention. People are slipping. And they're not thinking properly. Then you've got MicroStrategy holding about $60 billion, close to $60 billion in Bitcoin. And because Bitcoin had dropped so much from 126 all the way down into the low 80s, they went and created a $1.4 billion cash raise, and they're exploring Bitcoin lending. And it's because JP Morgan came out, not because of JP Morgan, but companies like JP Morgan came out and said, hey, we've got some warnings, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here and I'm just kind of going, I think you're sleeping on strategy too much. They can flex a lot, right? Strategy can maneuver that value. Imagine strategy going into Bitcoin lending. That would be interesting. Whether it's that they borrow the money or they create a business out of it. One of the two. Either way, big moves. The SEC warned that leveraged ETF applications, you had leverage ETFs at like 3x, 4x, 5x. And they're like, yeah, anything above a 2x, you got issues. It's going to become more strict. So, amendments by Direction, they're like, yeah, no. Or Direction, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Stupid names. Just spellings are just dumb. But whatever, that's what they want to do. It's their business. And requiring strict compliance for over 2x leverage products. Yeah, it's not. I don't think that's going to work out. I think it's too much of a gamble. Don't know. But they definitely kicked them back. That's something to think about. Remember when the ETF applications first came out? There were only like 11 companies out there doing the ETFs, and we had all said, well, watch, you're going to see a whole bunch of companies come out of the woodwork to get involved with these ETFs. And I still say, I'm waiting for Vanguard. Because I can see it happening. I could see that happening with Vanguard. I really can. Crypto liquidations tripled this cycle, with Bitcoin losing $640 million and $640 million hourly on October 10th. Didn't know that. Did not know that. Interesting. And then what happens? It starts to come back. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Dollar cost averaging, or DCA. That's what I practice. Anyway, you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. So let me move this over. Let me get my notes out of the way. Let's start down here. Dow futures implied open 75 points up. S&P futures implied open 12.25 points up. NASDAQ futures implied open 32 points up. Oil up 0.81. Wow, that's a big move. US 10-year down 0.015. Interesting. Who do we have reporting today? We have Snowflake, Salesforce, Dollar Tree. Let's see, Health Equity. I'm going to be interested in that. UPath. I'm going to be interested in that. UiPath. I'm going to be interested in that. Liberty Media. Another one I'll be interested in. Macy's. Is anybody else? I thought there was one more that I was interested in. C3.ai. It's another one I'm interested in. That wasn't the one, though. I thought there was another one I was interested in. Maybe I was mistaken. Maybe that was tomorrow. Oh, Children's Place. And some people will be sitting there going, why would you be interested in Children's Place? I'm interested in Children's Place because it's still retail. That's why. That's why I have interest in it. What kind of news are we expecting today? Right here. This is the one I care about. ADP unemployment. That's the one. That's the one I'm going to be interested in today. So that's going to be interesting. Then the crypto fear and greed index, we're at 28, up from 23. DeFi Llama, $120.907 billion in total value locked. That's great. It's up from 117. Looking at Bitcoin hovering at 93 and change. You can see it right there. We're almost into this pink band. Almost. We got a long way to go. We have a very long way to go. Right? But looks like we might be breaking through that pink band, and we might land up above it. Let's see what happens. Let's see how it plays out. Looking at the big board, you can see how many things are up today, but nothing's up so high that I wouldn't be interested in buying right now. Straight up facts. Looking at the board, at the big board right here, you can see who's up, who's down. But what I really want to do is I just want to see who's up and who's down over here. Who are the losers? All right, so my biggest losers before I get to 5%, nobody that I care about. Winners, let's see, nobody I care about, nobody I care about. SUI up 20, holy freaking moly. SUI up 23.86% with a GMB X factor of 2.15. Yes, I own big bags of SUI. Pudgy Penguins up 19.77% with GMB X factor of 4.76. Let's see, Chainlink up 17.44% with a GMB X factor of 2.67. What I'm saying to you is that I believe in Chainlink for sure. I definitely have bags of Chainlink. Pepe is up 16.96 with GMB X factor of 4.89. Dog with Hat up 15.85 with GMB X factor of 11.06. Even if we hit a new all-time high for Bitcoin, I don't think Dog with Hat gets there. It'll do. You can make money off of it. I believe you can make money off of it. I just don't think it. I don't think it gets there. FET is up 15.78% with a GMB X factor of 12.03. Artificial Superintelligence Alliance. Yeah, I don't think they get there either. Let's see who else is here that I care about. Aave up 12.63% with a GMB X factor of 2.44. You know I own some Aave, and you know I like Aave. Lido Dow up 12.31%, GMB X factor of 10.6. Gala, I used to be big on Gala. Look how far they would have to go to get there. GMB X factor of 107.18. That's ridiculous. They're not getting there. Period. No, I don't track this one, but I don't track Psy, but it's up 11.76% with GMB X factor of 7.24. I don't know enough about it to actually say whether or not it can get there, in my humble opinion. Virtuals up 11.55%, GMB X factor 4.43. 4.34. Arbitrum, just a classic that I like. No, I don't own anymore, but I still like it. 11.26666%, GMB X factor 10.05. No, I don't think it gets there. Bonk 11.17%, GMB X Factor 4.93, possible. Shiba Inu up 11%, GMB X Factor of 8.7, highly possible in my humble opinion. Cardano up 10.88% with a GMB X Factor of 6.08. Yes, I own a nice bag of Cardano, and I have big belief and big hopes for Cardano's future. Just saying. There's a lot of stuff going on there that we should all be paying attention to. And Cardano is one of those that I pay big attention to. All right, I know this morning's show is short, but I don't want to push it. There's a whole bunch of stuff out there, and I think today is going to be a very busy day. Keep your eye on the market. Do your own research. Know your entries and exits, and absolutely invest deliberately. And remember, investing is putting your money in, leaving your money wherever it is, and pulling your money out. Okay? It's all right to have money on the sideline if you're not sure. Again, absolutely invest deliberately. If you can't do that, yeah, I'd hold back. Just saying. It's just me. This is what I tell my kids. Remember, that's what this community was born from. Me trying to teach my kids something. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. Hope you like what I'm doing. If you do me a favor. Smash the likes. Tell your friends about this community because we are well over 31,000 subscribers and growing. We're doing good stuff, folks. We're doing good stuff. And check out some of the articles over on GrowMyBag.tv. That's right. Over 12,000. And yes, this morning's topics are all articles on the site. Go check it out and become a member. If you can become a member, membership has its benefits. The second week of every month, we have what we call the Big Baggers video conference call, and we talk about everything investing. From stocks, bonds, options, crypto, real estate, business management, all that stuff. It's all up for grabs in that conversation, and it's led by yours truly. Everybody have a great day. I'll see you tonight. Or actually, I might not see you tonight. I'm going to pick up a Christmas tree, so that's like a family thing. So I might not have a show tonight. I know tomorrow night I'm definitely not going to have a show unless I choose to do it earlier because I'm going out annual dinner with the boys. But we'll see. Everybody, this is Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.